She had great hair, right?
I know, I did love her hair.
Hello, we are live. We are kicking off the True Cost of Paradise. I am Heather Lefort, and I'm accompanied by Danielle Desousa. And we're
Hello.
going to take you through a fun series that we're doing for people relocating to Florida. It's going to cover everything, like literally, we're going to cover everything. But in this particular series, we're covering jobs and what you need to know about work if you're going to move to Florida. So I'm going to let Danielle introduce herself and give a little background, and then we're going to get into it.
All right. So I'm Danielle Desousa. I'm kind of known as the pet-friendly mortgage broker. I relocated myself from Michigan in 2000 and been in mortgages for real estate and mortgages about 20 years or more. So, but mortgages itself for almost 10. So yeah, that's me.
Hello, me. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I said your name wrong. I always say Desousa because I have friends.
Whatever you want to say.
You all probably say it the same. Is it Desousa? It's like Sousa. The O is silent.
Sousa, yeah, but it's not really my name. I mean, it is my name, but like it's Portuguese, my husband, so they say it. Yeah.
They say it totally different. And then they make me hungry when they say it.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, all their food.
Yeah. I love it too. Everyone always pronounces my name wrong, and I say, I'm like, it's not my name. My name was so much easier, but anyway, so moving to Florida, I moved here in 2017, and had I known a couple things, I would have thought about my process a little bit more in detail. I got surprised by a couple things, but when I moved down here, I worked remotely. It didn't matter to me. Obviously, the state tax was great, but I had my own company, so I was still paying New York, and then I cut that off a couple years after being here. But I've been here 9 years, and it has changed a lot since I've gotten here. But the things that are most important that I see people in groups asking questions, wanting to know things about moving here, whether it's East Coast, West Coast. I love the people that say we're thinking about moving to Florida, and Florida is probably like the biggest state. I mean, California was bigger, Texas is bigger, but Florida is a huge place. So there's some things that you have to, kind of lay out and decide if you're going to go East Coast or West Coast, which I think is where most people start. They're like, where do we want to be? They come down, they're either visiting family or friends, and then they pick East Coast or West Coast. But real estate's crazy here. And what a lot of people don't understand, and this isn't so much jobs, but I just want to mention it because it's coming to my head right now. When you're looking for a realtor, every single MLS goes by county. So for a realtor working on the East Coast to go all the way to the West Coast, I don't have access to that stuff. I mean, I do, but I'm not doing anyone a good service by saying, I can find you a home in Punta Gorda. Like I might want to make the money if you're buying like a whatever kind of house, or if you're my friend, I'd like to hold your hand through it. But all of us realtors network very well as the mortgage people. Like we all kind of have our people everywhere. So, and with mortgage people, it doesn't really matter where you go because you don't need to go in the house with people. So, but with realtors, you want to have a realtor that is in your area that you're looking in. So if you're looking in Flagler County, you want somebody who's on the FCAR. That's the Flagler County Association of Realtors. That's the board of realtors with our MLS here. We neighbor Volusia and St. John's. So you kind of go by neighboring and look at the area, but that's my area. So if you are working with somebody, ask them, what MLS are you a member with? And then find out if it's where you want to go, because
I think that's so smart to mention that, because I see a lot of realtors that come from different cities and areas, and they don't have access to the lock boxes, and then they don't know really, like Palm Coast it's different, so they don't know the schools, they don't know the sections, they don't know things like that. So in people that are relocating, they don't even realize that. Yeah. So for sure. So ask the MLS what MLS they're connected to.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm part of Flagler and Daytona, which covers, most of Volusia County there. I only go into Ormond, so I became part of it because I go to Ormond and Daytona Beach Shores sometimes. But if I go show houses, I'm dealing with two different platforms to pull up listings. I'm dealing with two different showing time platforms. I have two separate roadmaps of which houses I'm going to. And I'm a member for their lockbox, but I have to be approved. Like the person has to approve me to go into it. So it gets very sticky when you're not working with a specialist that's right in the area where you want to find a house. Now, the other thing about that is, if I'm in Punta Gorda, I have no idea what's going on legally with the counties, with the progression. If you're dealing with somebody in Flagler County, they can tell you, hey, yeah, we just got, whatever, insert, the data centers, like any kind of stuff that's going on. And there's a lot of it going on.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing about the pier, knowing about annexations. I wouldn't know that if I was outside of the area. And those are important things that you want to know if you are moving to the area, because this is paradise. But when you get down here and you start living here and you have to work and you can't just be on retirement, it turns out to be your home and where you live. So you want to pay attention to those things. That being said, like work here, I don't know if you want to start off what you know about work here.
Yeah. So I think the first thing I want to say is that, because this happens a lot. So I really want people to hear me on this. When you live somewhere else, can you hear me?
Yeah. No, I was like, I got ears.
Oh, okay. So when you live somewhere else, this happens to me all the time. They're living and working, let's say, in New York. Okay. They live and work in New York. And then they call me or their realtor and then I get them, and it's like, well, I want to buy a house in Florida. So whether they talk to me on the phone or they're filling out their application, they're putting their jobs in New York. Yeah. And so then I'm like, okay, but so you put your job in New York but you put Florida as your primary residence. So you can't. So then my next question is, are you able to keep that job in New York and live in Florida? Oh, well, no. Or yes, sometimes yes. So then great. So if you're going to transition and it's going to be like remote, and you're going to do that same job, it's going to be the same employer and you're just transitioning your job a little bit and you're going to work remote. Perfect. But most of the time, the conversations that I have, it's not. So I want to buy a house, but I don't have, I'm a teacher or I work in law enforcement or I, whatever. And finance or retail, you can't do that here. So that is the biggest thing that I talk to people all the time about when they're relocating, when they want to relocate, is that you have to have income here in Florida if it's going to be your primary residence. Now, if you are it's a totally different ballgame if you're going to buy your second home or your retirement home and you're not going to retire yet. That's fine. Or you're going to buy an investment and you're going to rent it out. That's fine. Those are all different scenarios. With those scenarios, you can qualify as you are, like whatever your jobs are in up north or east, west. And then usually a lot of people will take out some of their retirement and then use that for a down payment or, and then you just kind of go through that to qualify. So whether your house is paid off or not, and, you just got to qualify for both mortgages. So that can happen all day long. But what I'm talking about is the people that are relocating right now is when you have to show income here. So if it is, if you're already, or you're going to retire, or you're on Social Security, or you have a pension, all of that's great. We just, then you can move here now and we'll qualify you with what you have now. But if you don't have income here in Florida, or if you're self-employed, that's a big one, huge, because what happens is like, so let's say, I don't know, give me a job, a construction. Let's say you do construction
A
in
welding
New York.
person. A welding person. I'm on the welders.
A welding person or something. Yeah. So you have your self-employed, and John the welder is your name, and you have your tax returns and everything in New York or Maryland or California or New Hampshire, wherever. That isn't going to work here in Florida, because that is your job and your work and your income in that state. So you have to, so again, if it's primary residence, so we're talking primary residence and relocating right now. We're not talking about investment or second, because those are different. But then if you're self-employed, then that means you have to establish your self-employment here in Florida. You can still bring, you can still, like, I had a like AC, like an AC guy, so you can still do it. Or the other thing is, if your company is going to stay where it is and continue to run, and you have people established in place, or, then you can, as long as you can prove that, that's a possibility. So you can have that going and running, and then you can start like a franchise or another part here in Florida. But if you're going to cancel that, or like hair, even like a hairstylist, so if you're going to cancel that company and just move it all the way to Florida, well, then the lenders want to see that you're going to be making the same amount of money. So usually at least a year, sometimes 2, depending on your scenario. So that's a big thing. So making sure that the income can be proved here in Florida if it's a primary residence. Now, a lot of people I've had a lot of people call, oh, well, I'm a teacher, I'm going to transfer. And it's like, that's great. So, but you can't. And then a lot of people too will get it's like upside down, where, well, I want to buy a house first and then I'm going to look for a job. But that's not going to work for a lender, because the lender only wants to loan you that money. That's $500,000 or $300,000. Like, that's a lot of money. They want to make sure that you're going to make your mortgage payments that they're loaning you. So they want you to have a job first. So
it's like a little sticky spot right there, because you said something really important before, which was the lenders want to see how much money you're going to make. But the lenders already know, if you're in construction up north, let's just say up north, because that's the prices that I'm familiar with, you're taking a dramatic cut coming down to Florida. And the lenders know that. So you're already in a deficient of how much money you're making. And then the houses were a lot cheaper. They're getting more expensive now, but the lenders already know that. So that's really important to know too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because there's so many, like plumbing, hairstylists, AC. I've talked to lots of different teachers, medical, all of that stuff. And there is a difference in income for sure. Because things cost, it's just different in every state. And that's the biggest thing. The lenders need to see what it's going to be like for your business here if it's self-employed. But with, I will say, like teachers and, like nurses. And so teachers, I think they have to, I mean, I'm not a teacher. I'm not in education, so I don't fully know, but they can, apply for jobs here. But they probably have to get something for Florida teaching. I'm sure that there's something. Now, I don't know how that works. If there's if they get hired, if they have a certain amount of time to fulfill that, I don't know. Law enforcement, I know that they have to, they can get hired here, but then they have to go through a whole FTO, process. Again, that's that conversation. So the point is if you are going to transfer jobs or get another job, we need an employment offer letter. So if it's not self-employed and you're going to get, if you got hired as a nurse, the wherever you're going to be hired and working, they're going to give you an employment offer. And so then when we have your past work history with an employment offer, so you've been a nurse for 10 years and now you're going to be a nurse here in Florida and we have an employment offer, we can use that income, with on the employment offer, and that's fine. Yeah. If it's a new job or whatever, that's okay. They just want to know what your income is going to be here in Florida.
Yeah. And I think the people that work for, that aren't 1099, they have an easier time transitioning. So it's really important, if you are a 1099 worker, if you own your own business, to make Danielle part of your roadmap to get down here so that she can help you, maneuver those things around the right way so that it doesn't cost you either time or, really time. Because I find when people are ready to come down here, they're either just starting out looking, they're doing their research, or they want to be here yesterday. And they're either, they might have already taken steps that hurts them, and then they wind up in a house smaller, and then they're going to wind up redoing it again. A lot of people come to Florida and they move several times because they don't realize, like, we don't realize anything about, the sections of Palm Coast. We don't really know where we want to be. So they rent for a while, they lose money, they pay somebody else's mortgage. So there's smarter ways to do it. So the other thing is, if you are your own business, go onto the DBPR and start researching what you have to do for those tests to have them in place for when you get down here. Because some of them have a waiting period, that you have to be a resident for a certain amount of time. So those are important things to know. And if you are keeping your company, you might want to keep your company where you are to float it for that year that you have to wait to get licensed here. So there's different things that you need to know to kind of fall into your right game plan to get you where you want to be, to save from moving multiple times. Because I'm embarrassed to tell people how many times I moved since I came down here. So
how many?
I rented quite a lot. I've been here 9 years. I think I moved like 7 times.
Where did you first
be a professional mover? But it's physically I cannot do it anymore. Like I need to pay someone to do it for me next time, because it's a lot, and there's tons of people here that will help you do that too. Like, you can hire guys that come and help you move your stuff, and you rent the truck and they put it in there. But it's hot when you're moving. So if you think moving is easy in Florida, your dresser is slipping out of your hands.
It's so hot right now. It's hot. Like, I walked into my office and I just was sweating. So it's hot.
I can't even. It's August here, y'all. If you don't know what August is like, up north, August was like your hair just got curly. You didn't do it at all. It was up in a bun all the time. And it's no difference. I usually walk the dogs in the morning before it gets really hot. So if we don't get out early enough, then we walk at night. And then at night, I just noticed last night to this morning, it was the same exact temperature. And you walk out the door and it's like, you feel like a plastic bag is over your face. Yes. So you don't really want to move in August. But with that being said, I'm going to put on my little realtor hat now. August is a great time to negotiate a better deal because a lot of people are like, waiting for the buyers to come, and it gets a little slower in August. But the market's been pretty good. Yeah. So I can't say much for August this year. It's been pretty good. But you can get a better deal in August because people are kind of like tapping their hands, like waiting, like when, very excited for any showing. So a little mental note there. So as far as careers, I know we kind of talked about, owning your own company and what are the jobs in Florida, because everybody thinks they're going to come to Florida and they're going to get a little remote gig. Our biggest 2 industries in this area in Flagler County are healthcare and then food and hospitality. So you can have the best skills in the world, but Flagler County in particular is just it's kind of like a sleepy beach town. There's not a lot of work here. So if you're bringing your remote job, which I did, it was great. I didn't know anyone. And that's the other thing. If you are remote, like, you need to get connected to people, whether it's through groups on Facebook or getting out and joining things, because I literally sat in Grand Haven by myself with my dog and my cat and was like, what am I doing here? Like, I worked all day. I knew my massage girl and my hair girl. They were my first two friends. So, so you have to kind of keep that in mind too, because that's mental health. And when you're moving to a place like Florida, you're doing it so that you can live intentionally, so that you can have a slower lifestyle, so that you can enjoy family, you can enjoy the outdoors. So you want to be sure that you're connected. And it's easier to get connected when you're married, I feel like, because you have that other significant other to go and do things with you, and then you meet other people. But coming down,
I think with kids too, it's easier with
kids, because you could just go right in. But if you're coming in here single, you are going to, I would say 90% of the people that are single struggle connecting. And that's firsthand. I'm not even making up. That's just how it is. And I know everybody's like, oh, join this group and join that group, but it's very cliquey down here. So if you think you're coming from a cliquey place, Florida is very cliquey. So you need to, get out there early. I'm in a couple like Sisterhood of Flagler group, and there's a couple people that are like, oh, we're moving here in October, and they're already lining up people that like doing, like, everyone's like, what do you like doing? Oh, I have dogs, I have kids, I like to read, I like to whatever. And then one girl was like, I'm thinking about starting a book club when I come down, which I thought was kind of cool. So she just kind of jumped in, and that's great. There's usually about 10 people that want to do exactly what you're doing. But as far as getting back into careers, hospitality is huge, because there's restaurants, there's a ton of different restaurants, there's more restaurants coming, but healthcare is huge. If you do anything in healthcare, you're going to have a job. You're going to have no problem getting a job. But hospitality too, it comes and goes. They get busy, and then they're not. So, because it's seasonal here. So you want to be sure, whatever your specialty is, you can call, if you are considering Flagler County, you can call the city of Palm Coast, and they actually monitor all the businesses. Like, you have to be licensed, and you have to be registered, licensed in the state, registered in all the counties that you work in. So you can call the city of Palm Coast and say, can you send me a list, or just go on their website. They have a list of all the new businesses coming in. So you can see dog walker, handyman, painter, handyman. Like, it's all the same people. So
wow.
Get on your chats, get on Gemini, get into Claude, and say, these are my skills. This is what I do. Reinvent yourself. Like, there's room to still reinvent yourself, like career wise, because there's about 5 big niches that are missed that people aren't doing here. So if you are reinventing yourself, if you're retired but you don't want to be retired, and you know that you still need to work because you just don't want to sit around, there's things that you can do. And handy people, you literally can rule your work, because if you put out there that you're doing something and you show up and you do good, people will let other people know in the smaller groups in the area. And then you're so busy that I refer new vendors all the time. And then within like 2 months, they don't even return my call because they're so busy. So there's a lot of work down here if you do it right. So start your conversations, or you can reach out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the beauty. There's, negatives of social media, but there are a lot of positives of social media, that you can get into those groups, and there are ways to connect. And when if you do have a family and stuff like that, and, getting your kids involved in sports, that's a big thing where you kind of connect with families and other people, because it's going to be like-minded. Right. And then of course, churches are a great place to, you're going to get involved in a church and then find like-minded people that way as well. Sometimes, I mean, even if you're not quite sure of the area, so when I moved here, I moved to Daytona Beach first. And I had been here. I'd been here with, I visited in Daytona, and I'd seen it, and I just knew, that I wanted to get away from the cold. So I knew I wanted Daytona, but and then I ended up renting first, because I was so young. I was in my 20s. So I rented at first. And then, we ended up purchasing in Flagler, but when I got married and all of that fun stuff. But if you haven't been to a city or a county and you're not fully vested on that place, I don't think renting is a bad idea initially. Especially if you're like, reinventing yourself and or employment is new, or you're, all of that stuff. Sometimes, but I just wouldn't stay there. I wouldn't stay renting forever.
Unless you love it, Yeah. I loved the house that I first lived in, and the price coming down here and being like, I can get all this for that price was like, all right, where do I sign up? So there's a little bit of like a sticker price shock when you come down and saying, oh, renting, spending $24,000 a year is no big deal, to know your next step is going to be like your forever home where you're going to stay and you don't have to move again. But you could wind up living somewhere, and with the progression that's going on, you might decide that you don't want to be in the area that you are renting in, because there's a lot going on here. What you move into today in 5 years from now is going to be completely different, because it's already way different.
And that's the purpose of us, doing this series, you guys, or, whoever watches this, is because Florida is one of the top places that, people are moving to. So, and the one thing I will say, and what Heather had mentioned is, what part of Florida, we're in Flagler County, but we're in like Central Florida. And the beauty of Flagler County is that it depends on what you're looking for. But if you want something a little bit quieter, or you're going to raise a family or something, then some people do like this area because it's quieter. But we do still have a lot of construction and a lot of new things happening, but we're close to Daytona in Orlando and Jacksonville. So it's kind of like the middle, and then we're still by the beach. So that's why I love Flagler County, because I can.
We have true seasons. So it's not just like, I never saw myself being a Floridian. And when I came down here, we came down in February and visited for we were supposed to be here for 2 weeks. I think it was a little bit less than 2 weeks we stayed. And I was cold. I went back into my Jeep and I was like, I need my boots. Where are my boots? So I had put on my winter stuff, my jacket, my boots. I was like, I'm not going to need that. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, and like closed the door back up. I was like, I can't go outside. It is bone chilling cold here. It's a different cold that you experience in New York. I go back up to New York after living in Florida, and the zero there seems normal. Like, not normal, but like it's not that cold to me. There's something about being so close to the water, and it's like a bone chill because it's hot all year. And then all of a sudden it gets cold and something happens. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely.
It says it like thins your blood out or something like that. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I was here maybe like a month and I didn't leave my house without having a sweater. And everyone was like, you're from New York? And I was like, yeah. But when it fell under 70, I was like, I'm a little chilly. And now I'm ridiculous. Like, I have like my Ugg boots and my fur hood and like gloves and everything if I go out like early in the winter. And it is truly, like, I would say from winter to spring, it's 4 seasons in a day. So you start out like freezing, and then you take the jacket off and you have like a long sleeve on, and then you're like, and you got a tank top on. So you have to coordinate like a whole outfit.
That's true. Yeah.
But relocating is definitely fun. I mean, as far as careers, I would definitely research. We do have a PDF that we're giving away free. So if you do watch the live and you want it, there is a link so you can go get it. This, you don't have to watch it live. You can just come across it, watch it again, or just get the PDF. We're going to be we're doing this for like 6 months or something, right?
So we have our next.
I'm so excited for the next one.
I know. The next one is going to be about your pets and bringing your pets to Florida. because that is something that you really need to know. And we both are big pet people. And then the cost of living in Florida, buying a home from another state, your timeline, your relocation timeline, Florida weather and hurricane. So a lot of people ask about that.
It's huge.
Yeah. Insurance, or Florida homeowners insurance, because a lot of people, always ask that too. Should you rent first or buy? Palm Coast versus St. Augustine, Palm Coast versus Daytona, Palm Coast, and is it one big HOA? And new construction truth, which is a really good one too. So we have a lot of stuff, and if there is something that you want us to cover, then comment on, wherever you see this, or shoot us like a text or email or something, and let us know, because we can always do something on that as well.
That would be fun. I'm so looking forward to next time though. I think Lily wants to get on and say something next time.
Oh, fun. Yay.
She's my sassy girl, but I won't let her on. She's not tall enough to reach up here. So, but yeah, there's huge things. If you have a pet, I almost wish that we did the pet one first. It would be a good way for us to kind of jump out and open up the series with we're two crazy pet people. But right. That'll be next week. We'll save the craziness for next week. But this week, so our top kind of bullet points were, if you are in a work for yourself atmosphere in your job, you really need to reach out to Danielle. Danielle, what is your number?
386-302-6002. Okay. And I'll make sure that wherever we're posted, that we have that information in the comments. It's
in the comments, I think. And then we have a whole page. So if you click on the link, you can get to the page. It has everyone's contact information. There's a calendar. You can set up an appointment and just in the notes say, want to speak to Danielle. If you want real estate info, if you want financing info, we'll both talk to you. We'll both kind of guide you, but we want to cover all your bases. So jobs, get with Danielle, make sure that you set up your roadmap and your transition here. And then as far as your careers, if you're remote, start looking now. I'm telling you, start looking now. I know so many people who are submitting resumes. They have high mad skills and nothing, like zero, nothing. So there's a lot of the job that you want, like 500 other people are applying for. So
remote is a big deal since COVID. That's like this whole other thing. And to be honest, there are so many people that have moved to Florida and that were already working remote, and they're just continuing working remote in Florida now.
I was remote when I worked here, and I ran a company in California, and I had my marketing company, and then COVID killed it all. And I was like, and at that point I was like, I'm out walking dogs. I'm taking care of elderly people. I drove out to Daytona Beach Shores every day to feed 4 cats and take care of a woman. And it was 7 days a week. And I was like, I need money. I was like, what am I going to do? I got to go to Jacksonville to work. I'm like, am I moving back to New York? I didn't know what to do. Yeah. So you don't want to be in that situation. And I will tell you, people moving here have great skills. I mean, I've seen some really awesome posts from people who just moved here. They're launching businesses with their husband, with their wife. Just really, you want to get in and pay attention. Join the groups now.
We have a group too. It's like relocating to Flagler or Central Florida or something like that. So they can always join that.
Yeah. I'm going to link that on the page. So we'll put that Facebook page on there so that you could follow all that. And that will give you an idea too, because the realtors will come on. And we like to let everybody know when we're having an open house. We're like the men at work with signs out. When we have an open house, we put signs everywhere. We want to let everybody know. So we post it everywhere. So if you're in any of the groups, look at the open houses. It's very annoying that realtors don't list the price of their open houses, because that's kind of what we're supposed to do for ethics. But you get to see the houses and where they are, what they're offering, and you should be able to see the prices. So it's good research if you are on that research. If you're well past the research, get in touch with us now and we'll kind of get you on the right track. And then get you relocating good. And even just with vendors like moving companies and knowing the utilities that you have to set up before you get here and how to set them up. So make a situation that could be a stressful situation to a very well planned exit out of whatever. You can leave your shovel at home. I promise you. You're not. Don't bring the snow shovel. But other than that, we have good things going on. So
awesome. Yeah. So reach out. We would love to chat with you.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back on the 18th at 11 a.m. and it's going to be all about the dogs.
Is it the 18th or the 25th?
Oh, it's the 25th. Sorry. Why do I have the 18th?
Every other, I think.
It is every other. It is the 25th. Why is I think the 18th is on. We have an error on the PDF. I'll fix it, I think.
Oh, okay.
But we'll be back on the 25th. And it's always going to be on a Tuesday. So it's twice a month. But follow our page, and you'll get the videos, or you can just, subscribe to them on the page.
For sure.
All right. Stay cool, everybody.